And good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Ken in the Kitchen. My name is Ken, and on this show, I am trying to teach myself how to cook. I'm really new to cooking, actually. I've only been doing it for a couple of months, and I just thought it was time I stepped up and did my part in the kitchen to cook some tasty meals for Karina and myself. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also teaching myself how to live stream at the same time. So this is all very much a work in progress. The dishes that I do on this show, I am doing for the very first time in front of you on this live stream, with the exception of when I'm doing something involving baking, because obviously we can't just sit around here and wait for things to bake in the oven. That's not fun. So in those instances, I will do the recipe the night before, so I have a finished or near finished version of it to show you at the end of the live stream. And that's what we're doing today. So yeah, this will be fun. Also, if you're new here, I do see your comments in my monitor, so say hello. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. That's always fun. And if you see, or rather if you hear any extraneous noise today, I apologize for that. Our neighbor across the way moved out, and so maintenance is working on, fixing up the apartment before they move someone else in. So it might get a little loud, and again, I apologize for that in advance. So, but I hope everyone's doing well today on this Friday. I hope you're feeling good and you're excited to be going into the weekend and that you have something fun planned. So today's recipe is something called Brigadeiros, and apparently it's Brazilian, and it's sweet and rich and chocolatey and supposed to be just amazingly delicious. And there's all sorts of variations I've found on this recipe. So I will link to one of the recipes that I found in the description down below, and you can go check that out. I'm really excited to try this. I wanted to do something a little simpler, for Friday, so that it wasn't a bunch of stress going into the weekend. And I'm new to this, so I'm trying not to do recipes that are too far above what would be considered a beginner level. And I think that might make it a little bit more accessible for you guys watching if you want to try to do some of the things you see me attempting on here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and go over to the prep cam, and you can take a look at some of the things that we're going to be using today. So this is a really simple recipe from everything I've seen. You're basically using some sort of unsweetened cocoa powder. You're using a can of condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, a pinch of salt, because salt seems to go in everything, and some sort of topping for your brigadeiros. In this case, we ordered some milk chocolate, what they call Crispearls, but you can use regular chocolate sprinkles as the traditional thing. You can use like the fun birthday confetti sprinkles, whatever you want to roll your brigadeiros in after they're made is basically fair game. And then you're also using butter. In this case, 14.2 grams of butter. And so let's go ahead and we'll start kind of putting this all together here. So the recipe calls for, like I said, the butter, the condensed milk, and then the cocoa powder. Now I have seen some recipes where people say that they used Nestle Quick instead of cocoa powder, but some people were of the opinion that made things too sweet. So I'm just using, regular cocoa powder. Although it is Nestle, even though it isn't, Nestle Quick. Okay, and one thing I did see repeated over and over again is the importance of actually sifting the cocoa powder. Apparently that can make a huge difference in the final product. So I've got my sifter here. I'm just going to place it on that. And then we will go with 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. So here we go. 2. Get in there. 2. I always make a mess. And 3. Okay. So that's 3. 3 of those. And then just kind of gently, ever so gently, sift it through. And this is especially, again, important, I guess, if you have older cocoa powder. As you can see, there's a lot of pebbles of cocoa powder. And so what I end up doing is just taking the back of the teaspoon and kind of pushing it through the wire mesh. So it is sifted. And you're not rolling it in cocoa powder, although some people do that, I guess, because for some this is a very sweet, very rich recipe. And to counteract that, some people choose to actually roll their finished Brigadeiros balls in the cocoa powder to kind of counteract the insane sweetness. I guess it is. I don't know. I guess that's a matter of taste, though, honestly. And I tend to like really sweet desserts. So, go with whatever your gut is telling you on that as far as what you think you will enjoy. So now that's sifted. Got our can of sweetened condensed milk. And we're just going to combine all of this into a saucepan. Saucepan, P-A-N. Man, I love watching Binging with Babish, but Andrew Ray just drives me crazy with the way he says saucepan. He forgets that there's an A in it, and he says saucepan. I think he's just doing it to troll people now. That's so annoying to me. So annoying. I cannot deal with saucepan. And you're never going to get all of the condensed milk out, so, don't bother trying to get every last drop. Just, most of it. And then the butter. Get in there, butter. And again, that's 14.2 grams of butter. And yeah, I do weigh the butter. I hate those little markers on the butter packages, because, depending on where you start cutting, it may or may not be accurate. And then just a pinch of salt, they said. And then, last but not least, you've got the cocoa powder. So, that is a lot of stuff. It's not a lot of stuff. I don't know why I said that. So there you go. And then as far as prep goes, you also want to make sure you've got a greased plate. I just took a stick of butter and rubbed it over the top of this paper plate, because you're going to need something to put the Brigadeiros mixture onto so that you can stick it in the fridge, let it cool, but you want it lightly buttered so it doesn't stick to the plate. And that goes for whether it's a paper plate or a regular plate. So now, let's go over here to the stove top. And we will get this party started. Good morning, Sean. How are you, sir? Hope you are doing well. Welcome to the Brigadeiros experiment. It's chocolate, it's cocoa powder, it's sweetened condensed milk, it's everything good in life. Okay, so a couple of things are crucial, I guess, on this. You want the heat to be on the low end of medium. So, and again, this seems to differ a little bit by recipe. The other thing that I've seen in the past, looking up recipes for this, is that you want to stir it and let it kind of cook down longer than you think. So some recipes will have you go for about 10 minutes. Some for longer. It really depends on how hot you get your stovetop. And so it's important that you actually stir this pretty much constantly. Otherwise, the sweetened condensed milk is going to burn. It will burn quickly. So we just start stirring. And I'm going to start the timer now. I gave it like a minute to just kind of get warm. So I have the timer set for 8 minutes to begin. And we'll see. Nicole is hungry. Good morning, hungry Nicole. This is going to be, I think this is going to be really good. I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. As far as the origins of this dish, I don't know. The history seems to be fairly consistent in that it was named after a brigadier general in Brazil. But like everything, there's always a lot of folklore around recipes, where they're from. Sometimes it can be really hard to know the true origin of things like food. Who knows? I know that I saw this and went, wow, I think I want to try this, because I have such a chocolate sweet tooth. I like sweets in general, but man, I really like chocolate. I really, really do like chocolate a lot. My friend Ray likes chocolate, but he, I guess, has a reaction to chocolate sometimes, depending, I guess, on the kind of chocolate and how much he eats of it. So, but he hasn't asked us to stop bringing over chocolates when we go over to Ray and Mary's house for dinner. So he's willing to take one for the team in that instance. Good tea. All right, so we've got about 6 minutes left on the timer. Again, you really got to just constantly stir this. Good morning, Charles. How are you? Been a while. Haven't seen you on here. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's starting to smell good. It's starting to smell like cocoa. And again, I've seen recipes where down in the comments, people have said that they've used Nestle Quick powder instead of unsweetened cocoa. I really do think that you're going to run the risk of it being way too sweet, though, because sweetened condensed milk is already very sweet. I don't think the end result would taste very good. So what you're looking for, notice when I'm doing this with the spatula, it closes in immediately on the line, right, that I'm making. So you're basically going to stir this until you can count to 2 or 3 before that line fills in that you draw with your spatula. And the danger on this, the thing that makes this a tricky recipe, I guess, even though it's very simple as far as the ingredients and overall preparation, is that if you cook this for too long, you could burn it. If you don't cook it long enough, it will never set up, even if you put it in the refrigerator or even the freezer. I've seen some reports on the comments on recipes that they didn't let it cook long enough and they could not form it into balls. It basically just was a very rich, decadent kind of chocolate glaze or syrup or what have you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not a Brigadeiros. And you will start to, like right now, we've got about 3.5 minutes left on the timer, and I'm starting to feel some resistance as I am stirring this. It's starting to get a little close. And by all means, please keep in mind how your individual stove top might be calibrated. Ours runs hot, so I am really trying to keep this on the line between medium and low, the higher end of low and the lower end of medium. My hands seem red. Yeah, it's the writing. It's the writing. It's the lighting. My hands are just as pale as my face. Oh, this smells good. Okay, we've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and you can see we're starting to get there. So I'm going to start to stir this a little faster again to keep it from scalding. And you'll start to kind of see it pull away from the edges of the pan. That's saucepan, Andrew Ray, not saucepan. Sorry, I'll quit picking on Babish. It's a good show. He's awesome, but man, learn how to say the word. He knows. He's just trolling people. All right, see how that's really thickening up? Look at that. So now this is where most people would take it off the heat, and the recipe that I followed last night said keep going. Go for a little longer than you think you have to. Oh, and you can smell it. And there definitely is more resistance. You can really feel it as you're doing this. It's almost turning into a batter at this point. Feels like, consistency-wise. So almost done. We've got a minute left on the timer. I've turned the heat down a little bit lower because, again, don't want to scald this, don't want to burn it. Oh, you can smell that cocoa. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off now. I think we're probably good. So got the oven off, got the stove off. I'll go ahead and stop the timer. And then let's go back over here to the prep counter. Be very careful at this part because this pan is hot and this chocolate is hot. You do not want this on your skin. So just trying to get it out of the pan and onto the plate. Man, this pan is heavy. Okay. And just do your best. Again, you've got to make sure you greased your plate with some butter, otherwise this is just going to stick. And I wish my what was I thinking? I just lost my thought. There, set that on the trivet. I wish my spatula had a stiffer tip to it. It's a little more flexible than I would like for this particular application. A little bit more flex than I think is ideal for trying to really scrape this stuff out of the bottom of the pan. You can see it really does want to stick to everything. And I'm just going to leave the stuff that is pretty well stuck to the bottom because that's probably not really tasty anyway at this point. So I'll get that on to the plate and then just kind of try to spread it out. Again, don't fuss with it too much because it is just going to really try to stick to your knife. And just kind of spread it out as best you can towards the edges of the plate. I tried not to use too much butter, but it's a fine line, right? It's hard to know where to stop when I was greasing the plate so that this wouldn't stick. All right, so there's that. So now what we would do is we're going to cover that with some plastic wrap and put it in the fridge. Now it says for 20 minutes. Honestly, you could let this sit overnight, and that's exactly what I did. Is I just let it sit in the fridge overnight. Yum indeed. I think this is going to be really good. Okay, so let's get this in the refrigerator. And I'll just trade it with the one from last night. And we'll see how this turned out here. Okay. So you can see it's pretty glossy. Okay, now here's the fun part. I have somehow got to get this stuff rolled up into a ball. And again, this is really sticky stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands, because when you're rolling things around in your palms, you definitely want your hands to be clean. All right, so hands are washed, and move the trivet out of the way. And we will then take a little bit of extra butter. I think I'm going to take my ring off for this because I don't want it to get all gunked up. Just take a little butter. It doesn't have to be a lot of butter. And kind of grease up your hands. And I was going to try to use a disher to maybe help form this into balls a little better. like that. And then you take the balls, and this is where you, or the balls, yeah, you would take the balls, and this is where you will have your plate pre-prepared using whatever you're going to use to roll these in. So you can use chocolate sprinkles, rainbow sprinkles. I'm using something called Callebaut milk chocolate Crispearls, and just kind of roll it around on the Crispearls, or your, sprinkles. So, oh man, this stuff is stiff as heck. Look at that. I think it's going to break the, yeah, it doesn't, the disher does not like that. Okay, so that's not a great idea. Might just have to use a regular tablespoon or something. That one is a little smaller than the last one. That's okay. And then you just do that again. You roll it around until it's covered by the little balls. And these things kind of taste like kind of like chocolate covered Rice Krispie treats. It's really good chocolate. I did try one of the little pearls earlier. Yeah, it's almost better to just kind of just get in there and pull it up like that. Yeah, this is definitely tacky. But I have high hopes. I have high hopes that this is going to taste good. I think we're going to have to make a couple of batches of these and maybe give one to the maintenance guys, because we have really awesome maintenance guys here at our apartment complex. They're just on it. Look at that. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm just going to do this one more, this last one here, and then we'll see what they taste like. This way, Karina and I each get to have two. This is fun, okay? I gotta be honest with you. This part is really fun. Excellent. Okay. Let me wash my hands again. Oh, you guys, I am so excited about this. I think this is going to be awesome. I think this is going to be great. Okay. Hand towel. Let me get a plate. Do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay. All right. There they are in all their glory. Don't those look good? Oh, yeah. I think this is going to be good, guys. I think it's going to be good. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to need a moment alone. Oh, wow. This is amazing. I love chocolate truffles. This blows chocolate truffles away. And a large part of it, I think, are these crispy little chocolate balls. But, wow. Again, I really think if you tried to use Nestle Quick, it would not taste good. It would be way too sweet. This is perfect. This is the perfect amount of sweetness with just the sweetened condensed milk. Some people, I've seen recipes, some people will put just a little bit of vanilla in there. You can do that, certainly. I don't think this needs anything else other than what's in the recipe. Wow, that's rich too. I mean, this is not something that you can eat just one after the other. You would make yourself sick really quick. This is really, really rich. And the texture, as you saw, is sort of, it's not really fudge-like, at least not the kind of fudge that I like. Because I like my fudge to be a little grainier, not as taffy-like. But I mean, you can see again just the the texture of this. It's almost looks kind of like caramel, right? I mean, if you had like the caramel from a Milky Way, that part, it's kind of like that. And it tastes amazing, even without the chocolate crispy rice ball things. Again, you can use anything you want. Any kind of sprinkles, coating, whatever. Again, some people will actually roll their Brigadeiros in cocoa powder to counteract the what some people see as the overwhelming sweetness. This is good. Do this weekend. Let me know if you do. You know, tag me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or and show me your pictures if you attempt this. I want to see what you used on them for the topping. Oh my God, this is good. This is the perfect way to start my weekend. I tell you, I'm excited. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for being here again. I appreciate it. If you had fun today, do me a favor and just share the video on social media. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell so that notifications are turned on and you'll get notified when I do more videos and live streams like this. I do these shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And yeah, it's really fun. And for those of you who are patrons, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I think you can sign up over on Patreon. Just look for Casual Coffee Ken, I think it is, on Patreon. I think the lowest tier is like $3 a month. So every bit helps. I appreciate it. And again, if you have any suggestions for recipes you'd like to see me try, let me know in the comments down below. And I will see everybody on Monday. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. Rest up. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Wear your mask. And I'll see everybody later. I'm gonna have my other Brigadeiro now. 'Cause man, okay. See you later. Bye.